Yes, guys, welcome to a brand new live stream. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about why you have been lied to about calories and weight loss. So, if you have ever thought to yourself, I know it is just about calories in versus calories out, so why on earth can I not stick to it? This video is going to make you feel a lot less broken because, yes, at the end of the day, weight loss, fat loss simply still comes down to energy balance. But no, you are not failing because you are lazy or weak. You are failing because your biology is fighting against a food environment that is quite literally designed to make you lose. So, my name is Conan. I'm an online fat loss coach, and I help busy men drop 30 to 50 pounds all without sacrificing their favorite foods or spending hours in the gym. And most of my clients are either dads or executives or shift workers and not the typical fitness influencer. Now, they are not shredded because they have more willpower or more discipline than anyone else. They are simply shredded or lean and healthy and muscular because the system is different. So by the end of this video, you will understand, number one, why calories in versus calories out is still true. Number two, why the food environment and your biology tilts the game against you. And then lastly, how the Barbarian diet, which is the diets that we like to follow inside of our program, helps you reduce cravings and stick to fat loss over the long term. So a couple of things that we'll cover that I've written down here is number one, the truth about calories in versus calories out. Number two, why most people fail their weight loss and fat loss journey. Number three, what the research actually says about protein, whole foods, and processed foods. Fourthly, client case studies from inside the Barbarian squad, so the people that we work with, just some real life examples of what's possible. And then lastly, we'll discuss how to start the Barbarian diet starting this week, if not today. So make sure you have a pen and paper handy, take some notes because we are going to jump straight into it. Starting with section number one, calories in versus calories out. Like I said, it is true, but the game is rigged against you. So first, let's get the physics out of the way. You cannot lose body fat without a calorie deficit, and you cannot gain body fat without a calorie surplus. That is the law of thermodynamics. But here's the part that almost no one explains. Your body is not a simple calculator. Calories in and calories out are not always static in terms of like on paper. They change based on the food you eat, your sleep, like how much sleep you're getting, your stress levels, your muscle mass, how much muscle you're actually carrying, your hormones as well, your gut health, and your activity level. So yes, calories in versus calories out, it is the law. You cannot break the rules of thermodynamics. But our current environment and our biology decide how easy or how hard it is to live inside of that law. So that moves you on to section number two, which is just an example that I want to illustrate to further illustrate my point. So if 70 out of 100 people fail, it is not a willpower issue. So let's use a simple example. If one person fails an exam out of 100 people, so 1 out of 100, you would probably blame that person for failing the test because it's only 1 out of 100. It probably means that that student did not study because all the other 99 students did study and they passed, right? But let's say 70 out of 100 people fill the same exam. You do not blame the student anymore, right? Because now it's 70% of all students who failed that test out of 100 people. You would probably blame the teacher, the system, or the way the test was designed, because right now, up to 70% of adults are overweight or obese in the US. So if most people are failing this fat loss exam, does it really make sense to say that it is all your fault, or you should just try harder, or you just need more willpower, or you just need more discipline? Or is it more accurate to say that the system that we live in is rigged and the food environment or the environment that we live in is the actual problem? It's probably the latter, right? You probably wouldn't blame the 70% of people. You would probably blame the environment or the system for making them fail, right? Because our current food environment is like trying to stay sober while living inside of a bar that never actually closes. So here's what we deal with on a daily basis. Number one, hyper palatable, ultra processed foods everywhere. You go outside, you walk across the street, you are bombarded by fast food restaurants, junk food everywhere, huge portion sizes, bottomless refills, drive-throughs. You drive anywhere to see your friends, to go to work, to go to class, wherever you want to go. You're going to see one, if not 10 fast food restaurants on your way there. We are just bombarded by all this distraction within our environment, right? And then when we get to work, we got a bunch of snacks at work. We got a bunch of snacks at home. We got a bunch of snacks at the gas station when we fill up our car. We even got like delivery apps that deliver 3,000 calories to your door in less than 15 minutes. Like, we live in such a convenient world right now where it's easier than ever to just be fat and be obese. And so I don't blame anyone for being obese or being fat, because you're literally living in an environment, in a society that makes overeating very attractive and very, very easy, right? Because not even 100 years ago, we did not have access to all this super hyper palatable processed foods. You actually had to get out of your way to make it happen. You would have to call the pizza delivery person, and then you'd have to either show up there in person and get takeouts or whatever it may be. Whereas now you're literally a button away from ordering Domino's, and it'll be delivered straight to your door within the next 10, 15 minutes. You got Uber Eats, you got DoorDash, you got all these other apps that just make it so easy and so convenient for you to just be fat, for lack of a better term, right? So at the end of the day, like, you watching right now are not broken. You are just living in a system that is perfectly engineered to overfeed you. So that'll move me on to section number 3, which is what the research says about why you feel out of control. So let's talk science in normal language. Number 1, protein. So protein controls hunger and burns more calories. So research has shown that high protein diets actually help reduce appetite, increase your level of fullness, and also improve adherence in weight loss. Protein is also very special because not only does it help you build more muscle, or at the very least maintain your current muscle mass, it is also a higher thermic effect, which means your body burns more calories simply consuming and digesting it within your body compared to the other 2 macronutrients, which are carbs and fats. And so if you roughly eat around 2,000 calories with high protein, you actually net fewer usable calories than 2,000 calories of low protein and high processed foods. So this is one of the pillars of the Barbarian diet, where we push high protein so your hunger calms down, it slows down, and your body works harder behind the scenes, right, due to its thermic effect. And so most clients that we work with, we immediately have them switch from a low protein diet to a high protein diet for those 2 main reasons. Number 1, it helps you build and preserve muscle mass, especially while you're trying to lose body fat, which is very, very important, unless you want to end up being like a skinny fat individual that has low muscle mass and just kind of looks stringy. Like, it's not really an attainable physique for most guys watching, right? And then number 2, due to its thermic effect, which means it takes a bit longer for your body to break down and digest, which is awesome because it burns more calories while your body consumes it, but then also it helps you stay fuller for longer. So if you're constantly hungry or just have all these cravings throughout the day, I guarantee you, if you simply up the protein, you won't have as much of that anymore. So it could be any source of protein, preferably from a whole food. So try to get it from a food that you actually have to digest and chew, compared to like in a shake form, like a protein powder. But they can still be very convenient. So just simply think of any chicken thighs, chicken breasts, preferably the leaner cuts of meat are going to be a lot leaner and lower in calories compared to the fattier cuts. So think of your chicken breast compared to chicken drumsticks or chicken thighs. Flank steak, the leaner cut of steak, compared to like a New York or strip steak. Or it could be even like 99 ground turkey compared to 80-20 ground turkey, all these other things. Eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurts, all these things. Number 2, whole foods increase satiety automatically. So there's a classic study on the satiety index of foods showing that boiled potatoes, oats, beans, fruits, and lean proteins keep people fuller for longer compared to processed foods like cookies, cakes, chips, fries, pizzas, burgers at the same calorie amounts. So in simple terms, whole foods fill your stomach up a whole lot more. They digest a lot slower as well, and they send a strong "I am full" signal to your brain. Now, when it comes to processed foods, they are like calorie ninjas. They sneak in a whole lot of calories with very little fullness. And so the Barbarian diets, the diets that we obviously push towards our clients is built on whole, natural, single ingredient foods that make it way easier to stop overeating when you're actually full. Because if your diet mainly consists, let's say 80% of these foods that only have one single ingredient, you're just going to have a lot of a harder time overeating on those foods. Like I have not heard a single person tell me that they binged on a salad, on apples, on bananas, on chicken breast. Like it just doesn't happen. It does not happen. Whereas you see most people binge on their diet on ultra processed foods, whether it's cookies, chips, fries, burgers, you name it, because they're very delicious and they're very easy to overeat. And a combination of fats and salts and sugars and carbs all within your kind of like mouth, your taste buds, like it's very addictive and it just makes you want to eat even more. Whereas after you're done eating like an apple or a banana or a couple carrots, a couple beets, salad, it's not like you're like, oh my goodness, like I need more of this. Like after you're done eating it, you're kind of like content. You're like, okay, I just ate this. I feel full. I feel satisfied. I feel energized. I can carry on with the rest of my day. And I don't really feel the need to like binge on this, right? So that is why we mainly 80% of the time incorporate these foods into our diet with our clients to make them stay fuller for longer and then also not have all these urges to binge either. And I say this in every single live call, but I'll say it to you one more time. If right now you're constantly craving junk food, it is likely because you are always eating junk food. Whereas if you switch your diet and switch your eating habits, eating mainly whole, unprocessed foods, you are naturally going to start craving more of those foods as well. Because study after study has shown that we crave the foods that we eat the most. And so if you're mostly eating healthy foods, guess what you're going to be craving more of? You're going to be craving more healthy foods. Whereas if you're mostly eating unhealthy foods, guess what you're going to be craving more of? More unhealthy foods, right? So that'll lead me on to point number 3. Ultra processed foods make you overeat without realizing it, right? Because one controlled trial compared to people eating mostly ultra processed foods versus mostly unprocessed foods, while matching calories, sugar, fats, and protein as best as possible. Now, when people were allowed to eat as much as they wanted, they ate about 500 more calories per day on the ultra-processed diet and gained weight. And on the unprocessed diets, they naturally ate less and actually lost weight without being told to restrict themselves. Now, what this shows you, or at least shows me, hopefully it shows you as well, that the type of food automatically changed the calorie in equation without anyone actually counting their calories. And this is why your environment matters more than your motivation, because if your environment is conducive towards you eating healthier food, guess what you're going to be just naturally going more towards, just due to convenience sake, more healthier foods. Like if you go into my kitchen right now, you open up the fridge, you open up the freezer, you open up the pantry, you're only going to be seeing unprocessed whole natural foods. Fruits, veggies, frozen fruits, frozen veggies, my chicken breast, my meal prep meals. So if you were going to be hungry and you were to be in my house, you're naturally going to gravitate towards eating more of those foods, right? Whereas if I go into your kitchen and I open up your pantry, your freezer, your whatever, and all I'm left with is just leftover pizza, leftover burgers, whatever else normal people eat, and they store in their fridge. You got a bunch of snacks, you got Oreos, you got a cake, you got hot dogs, I don't know, whatever people have. Guess what I'm going to naturally, just due to convenience, gravitate more towards? Your ultra processed foods in your kitchen, because it's easy and it's convenient. And when it's in sight, it's going to be in mind, right? And so this is a really cool study showcasing that you don't even have to really count your calories if you're naturally just going to be more prone towards eating healthier foods. Now, we still advise all of our clients to count their calories, because you could very well still be in a calorie surplus eating quote unquote healthier unprocessed foods, but the chances of you overdoing it, especially binging on those foods, like I said earlier, is going to be a lot less likely compared to if you were to eat only processed, hyperpalatable foods. So let's move on to section number 4, client case studies. Why the Barbarian diet works in real life. So let me give you a couple real life examples from the Barbarian squad, people inside of our program. So one of our clients, Charles, came to us weighing in at around 180 pounds with a busy job, high stress, and absolutely no structure within his routine. He was not eating crazy amounts, but it was constant snacking, constant grazing, liquid calories, and convenience foods. We did not put him on some crazy cleanse, juice cleanse, detox tea, whatever. We did 3 main core, very simple things with him. Number 1, we set his protein target a lot higher than what it used to be leading up to or coming into this program. So we just increased his protein intake. Number two, we swapped his ultra processed snacks for whole food options. And then lastly is we standardized 2 or 3 Barbarian meals that he could repeat on a daily basis. I see so many people overcomplicate their diet where they want to eat 8 different meals and have all this variety in their food. But what I've noticed for myself and also the people that we work with, if you can just have, let's say 2, 3, maybe 5 max meals in like your weekly rotation that you can kind of rotate between, you're going to be far more likely being able to stay consistent with that. Because if you're constantly worrying about what your next meal should be, and if you don't know upon waking up what you're going to eat for breakfast or what you're going to eat for lunch or what you're going to eat for dinner or what meals to eat or what to make for this certain time, like you're just kind of like utilizing all this brain power. And we only have this finite amount of brain power that we can utilize towards the big decisions in our life every single day. And if we're using that juice towards thinking about what we're going to be putting into our body, why? I'm just like, why, right? Because you are far better off just like delegating that and systemizing that. And at the very least, having a plan for that so you can actually focus your brain power towards making the bigger decisions in your life, whether it's with your relationship or with your friendship or more importantly at work. So you can maybe make more money, right? Increase your earning capacity. So if you can put your meals on autopilot, the more stress-free your life will be. So if you can rotate between 2 to 5 healthy meals throughout the week, you won't be thinking about food as much and you'll naturally just stay within your calories, because if you know you eat the same rough meals throughout the week, you don't really have to track it either, because you know that, okay, well, if I eat these similar meals throughout the day, I know roughly speaking, I'm going to be within this calorie target. And if I stay within this calorie target, I'm likely going to be within my calorie deficit. And if I stay within my calorie deficit for weeks and months and years on end, I am likely going to be losing 30 to 50 to 100 pounds without me really noticing it, right? And especially if you combine that with a high step count and workouts, which we won't discuss in this video. But if you do that, like you're going to be melting body fat effortlessly. So once we did that with our client Charles, his cravings dropped, his energy actually increased, and the whole I keep messing up at midnight problem basically disappeared. He no longer had these urges to binge or had all these weird cravings throughout the day. And he went from 180 pounds down to 148 pounds. So over 30 pounds lost, all without cutting out his favorite foods, because his baseline diet was now whole food, high protein. So now let me talk about one of our other clients, Jezreel. So he had tried every single program and he would go very strict, white knuckling it for a few weeks and then binge and regain. And then he would repeat this vicious cycle and repeat the process. Now, as soon as he started the Barbarian diet, he did not have to be perfect every single day. He just followed some very simple core rules that fit perfectly within his busy schedule. Whole foods first, high protein every meal, and plan the fun foods instead of falling into them, right? So you're probably thinking that, oh, like if I follow your diets or follow your program, does that mean that I can never eat out again? Like, no, that cannot be further from the truth. I myself, I eat out, right? It's like if you guys watch my stories, like I love sushi. Sushi is one of my favorite foods. I love eating pizza too. And it's not like I put myself in a situation where I can never have those foods again. I just pre-plan it in advance. And we use a couple of strategies for our clients as well. Something called calorie banking, which allows you to still go on date night, have your favorite dinners, have your favorite meals, have your favorite snacks, eat with your children, eat with your spouse, eat with whoever you want to eat with, while still being able to make weekly and monthly progress. But you have to pre-plan it in advance. That's the only thing that we make our clients do, and we actually do it for them so they can still have their fun foods without feeling guilty about it or falling into them. And as a result, Jezreel lost 25 pounds in 12 weeks. But the real win was this. He told me, for the first time ever, I do not feel like I'm on an actual diet. This feels like how I should have been eating my entire life. And when he told me that, it's almost like this switch went off, at least for me, inside of his brain, where it kind of showed me that once you enjoy the process, once you enjoy the diet, once you enjoy the food that you eat on a daily basis, and once you stop suffering and stop feeling forced to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice, or eating all these bland, boring foods, and once you actually like look forward to eating your breakfast and look forward to eating your lunch and your dinner and your snacks, that's when you know you have found the winner in terms of, okay, if I eat the foods that I enjoy the most, I am more than likely going to be able to stick to this for the long term. Because the reason why 99% of diets fail is because they're simply unsustainable. They're not fun. They're restrictive by nature. like the whole term, like the whole diet term, I typically don't really like using, because like, sure, like I follow, like, let's say like a set diet, but I don't really consider it as a diet. I just consider it as a way of eating, because not only do I enjoy the foods that I eat every single day for every single meal, but I just feel amazing. I feel sharp. I feel energized. I have amazing digestion. I feel just good all the time, right? And once you get yourself to that place, it doesn't really become like a chore anymore. It just becomes like part of your life, part of your identity. It's like, yes, my name is Conan, and I eat this way because I enjoy eating this way, not because I have to force myself to do it or because I restrict myself, but because I genuinely want to. Like, I'm at a point right now, guys, where if you were to put any type of food in front of me, let's say you put a cookie in front of me and a bowl of oatmeal, 10 times out of 10, I'm going to go for the bowl of oatmeal with some protein powder, some berries, some peanut butter, maybe some banana. Like, oh my goodness. I would far much rather have that over like a cookie, because I know if they're eating that bowl of oatmeal, I'm going to feel sharp. I'm going to feel energized. I'm going to be ready to just carry on with the rest of my day. And I won't have all these urges or cravings. So I'm going to feel nice and satisfied compared to that cookie. It's likely not really going to fill me up. I'm likely going to want to have 20 more of those cookies because they're hyper palatable and it just makes me want to overeat. And I'm not going to feel the best. I'm probably going to have some brain fog. I'm probably going to do whatever. And because it's a trigger food, right? It makes you want to overeat. You're likely not going to stop at just one cookie. You're probably going to have a couple of cookies. And because of that, you're more prone to, number one, overeating, binging, being in a calorie surplus, gaining more fat, not liking the way you look, not liking the way you feel, being low in energy, and just not liking yourself. So I don't know about you, but I would rather feel good about myself and actually eat the foods I enjoy versus eating the foods that I actually don't even enjoy anymore and feel bad about myself, right? So this is the power of changing the environment instead of yelling, try harder to yourself, right? So busy dads, night shift workers, and high stress entrepreneurs, over and over, we see the same pattern. And as soon as we raise the protein intake for these people, set their meals around whole, minimally processed foods, and remove the trigger foods from their default environments, guess what happens? Their cravings go down, your late night binges drop off, people stop starting over on Monday because they are finally on a plan that does not rely on raw willpower every single day. Imagine having to wake up every single day, every single morning, having to rely on your willpower, having to rely on motivation, having to rely on discipline, like all these things. Like, no, thank you. Like, if that was what was required for me to maintain six-pack abs year round, I probably will not be willing to make that trade-off. I'll be honest with you, like, probably not. But the reason why I've been able to maintain six-pack abs and the reason why I'm able to help other people do the same thing is because we don't rely on willpower every single morning. We just rely on systems and habits. And once anything turns into a habit, just like brushing your teeth, like, you don't have to feel motivated to brush your teeth. You just do it because it's part of your habit. It's part of your identity. And it feels weird for you not to brush your teeth, right? And that's exactly where I want to get you watching this right now, where it feels weird for you to not eat healthy. It feels weird for you not to be active. It feels weird for you not to work out, right? And once you get to that place, you know that you're that guy or you're that person, you're that gal, right? You are the fitness person. And once you get to that place, like, it's game over. You've put it on easy mode. So let's move on to section number 5, why the Barbarian diet makes calories in versus calories out easier to follow. So here's how everything ties together, essentially. Calories in versus calories out, like I said at the start of this video, is still the rule. You cannot break the rules of thermodynamics, right? But trying to beat the modern food environment with pure discipline is like trying to swim upstream. The Barbarian diet works because it changes the water you are swimming in. You are no longer trying to swim upstream. You're swimming downstream now. You don't even have to swim. You just float. You're just chilling. You're just chilling in the water. You don't even have to swim. You're just kind of there, right? So here are the core principles within the diets that we preach. Number 1, whole foods first. Mostly 80% minimally single grain foods. So think of your meats, your eggs, your potatoes, rice, fruits, veggies, oats, yogurts. They have higher satiety and lower calorie density. So you fill up with far fewer calories, which is the ultimate cheat code. If you're right now trying to lose body fat and hunger tends to be an issue for you, focus on low calorie dense foods. And most of these low calorie dense foods are simply foods that are high in volume and low in calories. They typically consist of the foods that I just listed out, mostly single ingredient foods. So the more of these foods that you can eat, the fuller you'll stay and the more sustainable you can stick to your calorie deficit. Number 2, high protein target. Protein keeps you full, preserves muscle mass, and raises calorie burn through digestion. This makes the calories out a bit higher and the calories in easier to control, far easier to control. Number 3, environment design. We do not trust willpower. We design the kitchen. Trigger foods stay out of the house or are pre-planned. Barbarian meals are prepped. So the whole, what do I eat next? What do I eat for breakfast? What do I eat for lunch? What do I eat for dinner question is never going to be a question anymore, because the meals are either pre-planned or pre-prepped or pre-batch cooked, so that you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen cooking up your meals, because it's all ready to go in a very simple manner. Number 4, flexible fun. Here's where the fun gets involved. So sushi nights, date nights, social events are all built within the plan. No banned foods. Like as soon as you tell yourself that you cannot have a certain food ever again, just from a psychological perspective, you're naturally going to just like start to crave more of that food. Like if I were to tell you that, hey, you can never have cereal ever again, guess what you're going to be craving more of naturally? Cereal, right? Because now I've kind of like told you that, hey, you can never have this food again. And sure, you may kind of like, okay, you may be good for that for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. But it's like, if you keep on telling yourself that, hey, this food is on the banned substance list, this food is on the banned list, this food is bad, this food is good. Once you start labeling food as good as bad, you are just kind of like setting yourself up for failure, because now you're starting to kind of create this unhealthy relationship with food. And yes, there are certain foods that have more benefits than others. Like I think it's just a healthier approach. It's just not limit any food. And if you insist on still eating some of the junk food, like by all means, like I said, 80% whole foods, 20% more processed junk food. So like I said, sushi night, date night, social events are all built within the plan. No banned foods, just intelligent trade-offs. This is how you stick to it for months and years, and not just for 2 weeks. Because the reason why most diets fail is because they're unsustainable by nature, and they're typically very restrictive by excluding either food groups or entire macronutrients, right? Whether it's the keto diet, you can never have carbs again. Like, are you kidding me? I could not imagine a life where I can never have carbs again. No more fruits, no more vegetables. Like, what? Are you serious? Like, I love fruit. I love vegetables. I love oatmeal. I love potatoes, sweet potatoes, russet potatoes. Like, I cannot imagine a life where I can never eat those foods again. So as soon as you put me in an environment where I can never eat those foods again, I myself, I'm naturally going to start craving more of those foods, right? And so when you do all of this and tie all of this together, you are still playing by the rules of calories in versus calories out, but you finally have the cheat codes. You're basically putting the game on easy mode. And that is the entire goal of this video, basically. So section 6, talking directly to you. If you have ever looked in the mirror and thought, it's all my fault, I must be weak, I lack discipline, I lack willpower, it's my fault, all these things, right? I want you to hear this very, very clearly. You are living in a food environment that almost literally no human in history has ever had to face, right? Like 100 years ago, we were not in this situation. 20 years ago, we were not in this situation with all the food apps, right? It is easier than ever to be obese. I don't blame people for being obese and overweight. You are not a failure. You are just using the wrong system. So as soon as you change this system, change the environment, the results will follow. So if you are done watching this video right now and you want to actually make the change, because I do talk with a lot of people and most people don't actually want to change. They're content being obese, right? It's like, I don't blame you for being obese, but if you accept it and don't want to change, then I cannot change you. But if you actually want to fix this, what you can go ahead and do is schedule a free consultation call with me down below, where we'll essentially go over your current goals. We'll see exactly how much weight you are looking to lose, whether it's 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds. We'll look at your current struggles. We'll see exactly what's holding you back right now, whether it is your food environment, whether it is the lack of structure, the lack of knowledge, the lack of accountability. And then we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely demolish your fat loss goals within the next 3 to 6 months. If that sounds good to you, you can schedule your call in the link in the description down below, and I'll see you all there. Peace.